I cannot overstate the advantage to having your workbench be mobile. If you're part of the Smart Woodshop family and you've viewed many of the over 1,000 videos that we have up that we've done over the past 10 years, you've seen the benches from the very first video, which was all about the Paulk Workbench. In fact, the workbenches really are the foundation of the channel. They're part of, I'm about efficiency in construction, and the benches are a big part of that. But obviously, I haven't done a good enough job of really explaining them. And I'm gonna do a deep dive and really try to do a good job in explaining everything. So I may come at things from a couple of different angles to make sure that it's really clear. So if you already have your workbenches, if you already know all about them, this might not be a video for you. I'm Ron Paulk, and this is the Smart Woodshop. If you want to get a detailed set of plans to build a smart woodshop for yourself, or one of the smart workbenches, or any of the accessories, on the link in the description of this video down below, Paulk Smart Bench. That's it. Not compact, not station, not big bench. It's just the Paulk Smart Bench. It is roughly 3 feet by 6 feet, but this bench, as well as the other two, are actually an industry standard dimensioning. They are a multiple of 96 millimeters, both in length and width. And again, all three benches. In fact, the Paulk Smart Bench and the Paulk Smart Station are exactly the same size. All three benches offer a bench top with the bench dog holes. The height of the bench itself, which is again the same on all three, I have determined to be the ideal spacing to allow these openings to be large enough to get the power hand tools to fit in them so that the bench top stays clear. It was what drove me to designing the very first bench. After decades of being a home builder and a remodeler and using sawhorses with plywood or hollow core doors and any number of benches over the years, a bench became a dump site. That drove me to think there had to be a better way. That way was to create this torsion box design with these openings as big as I could make them without sacrificing stability. There's no sawhorse on the market that will do what I needed them to do. I wanted them lightweight and small but strong, but I wanted them to hold material beneath the bench. This is important for me because on the Smart Station, which is the tool bench, that has my miter saw, and the material that I cut, base molding and crown molding and the moldings that go around doors and windows, most of that comes in 16-foot lengths. And I want to have it beneath the saw so that I can lift it up, make the cut, and then have the next piece lift it up and make the cut. Having the material over there on sawhorses or on the floor over there, and having to turn around and pick up each piece just was a few seconds that added to the time on the job, reduced my efficiency. So I developed those, and then I realized that I work all around the bench. So having those same supports on the sawhorses that will hold material on the other side became important too. So I had to figure out a way to create those cantilevers, those shelves on both sides, and still have a strong sawhorse. So it took a lot of design, a lot of engineering, a lot of testing, and they're identical on all three benches. So even the big bench, I removed this bench and set it aside. I can take that bench and put it on here and it fits. While we're talking about the big bench, the same support, the same storage space height, the same holes, again a multiple of 96 but longer and wider. So the only difference in purpose or in practical application is more real estate. It's a bigger bench. All of these benches I move around myself, set them up solo. I don't need somebody helping me carry them. I can carry any of these benches onto the tightest jobs. The material that I use to build all three benches is a lightweight plywood, Canusa Primcore Plus. All three benches in the plans have a detail to show you how to build this spreader shelf. The purpose of this spreader shelf is twofold. It spaces the sawhorses apart to the exact dimension you need for the benches to fit on top of them. The second thing this does is these slots here, there are some tabs on the bottom of the sawhorses. You spread the sawhorses open, the shelf drops in like that, and those tabs hold the horses spread to the proper width you need to get the height of the bench to be the same, and also it keeps them from continuing to spread open and fall down. I don't use that shelf personally anymore. I keep it around because I have to demonstrate it. An option for all of the benches is the Smart Cart. Is a tray, has slots cut in the bottom on both ends, that there's some tabs on the bottom of the sawhorses that drop into those. It keeps the spread of the sawhorse, so I don't need the shelf to keep the sawhorse from spreading. It sets them in the right position so that I get the right height. And it has flip-up wheels on both ends that make the bench mobile. The Smart Cart is a monumental, I cannot overstate that, a monumental improvement to the benches. The mobility adds to efficiency a level that's hard to describe, from the subtleties to the big stuff. When I'm working in a smaller place like this, and I have all three benches set up and I'm working with them, I can just move them around and get them adjusted so they work together. When I'm on a larger job, there are times when the bench works better in one location, and then just an hour later would be a lot better if it were 20 feet over here. It would reduce my steps back and forth. When I'm doing hardwood, I would set up in a location, and that would be the bench for the hardwood, because I'd be using the miter saw and then the table saw hanging off of it and the router table. I start and I lay out the hardwood. I've got the line snapped, and I start putting down hardwood, and I get to a point where I've set my bench up, and now I just put a canvas tarp down and I just roll the bench up onto the hardwood I've already done onto the tarp, and I'm able to continue on. I don't have to tear down and relocate. When I'm doing cabinets, I have all of the cabinets delivered and they're taking up space, and then I need to unpackage them, remove the doors and drawers, and move them into the kitchen space to start hanging them. With setting up the benches, before I had the mobility cart, one of the first things I would do on a job is to walk into a job and look around at my workspace and try to determine the best location to set up for the whole job, or at least for a couple of days, because tearing it down and relocating everything takes time. I get all the cabinets into their location, and now I want to start cutting fillers and crown moldings and valances. I can just move the station right into the kitchen or right next to the kitchen just by grabbing the bench and moving it. And it's just easy to slide it over for the little things like a rip. If I'm ripping a piece of base molding that's 16 feet long, I just need to take a bit off, rotate the bench or move it a little bit just to clear the outfeed space so that I can finish that rip. Might not be the ideal place to have it for the whole job, but for that one or two step operation, I get it done, and then I can quickly move it back. This bench doesn't have anything on it, so it's light, and if I am working with my domino and I'm pushing and it wants to move, I don't want that. It gets in my way. So when I installed the wheels, I put a foot lever connecting the two wheels, and that's shown in the plans. So all I have to do is drop it down like that, and now the bench doesn't move. With the station, because the tools are so heavy, the whole thing is so heavy once it's set up, that it can move, but it doesn't really move. You know, when I'm working on the router table and pushing something through the table saw or cutting on the miter saw, it really doesn't move. But I have the same bars, because it's the same cart for all three. I can also drop this down, and then when the bench is down and sitting solid like this and not mobile, all I have to do is step on that bar on both ends, and I'm mobile again. I cannot overstate the advantage to having your workbench be mobile. This is the Paulk Smart Station. This is my miter stand, and the plans include the shorter extensions as well as the stops that are calibrated with a tape that is both imperial and metric, so that I can set up with this flip stop both right and left and get accurate cuts. I also have in the plan a longer version with a support similar to the sawhorses that add material support, so that when I am doing the big stuff, the crown moldings and the bases and those things, that it'll carry that material. I can lift it up, make the cut, and my tape measure goes longer. The minimum length that I need for my tape when I'm doing repetitive work, when I'm doing finished, is around 8'6". I don't want it less than that. That's for the stop, what the stop will read. And that's because a lot of the doors that we do are 8-foot doors, so the trim is a little bit longer. 90% of the time, I don't need those long extensions. I went ahead and designed a shorter set. I found that in my previous version, where I had them broken into two pieces, where I had the built-in section, that section was just a little too short for most of what I needed. I was putting on the extensions when I just needed to go a little bit further. I determined that this length here was ideal because I could do most of my cutting, and then when I was set up for base or crown or the long moldings, then I could put on the longer ones. I also found it was better to have two different sizes rather than having an extension that butted into the other. To do with accuracy, because you have to cut the tape measure, you have to make sure that it is installed properly and tight so that your stop, when it would go through, would be accurate. And also there always tended to be over time a little bump to get that through. So I just found that I was fighting it to try to have a two-part extension. The rest of it you see, router tables. This is a separate plan. I am a multi-router shop. I use handheld routers, multiple sizes, and then I have two big routers that I use for table routing. The router tables and the extensions and the other features like the smart crosscut all attach on top of the bench. They're not set somehow to try to be flush. That was another 2020 evolution, and it made so much sense once I figured it out. I use these power locks to attach all of these things to the surface of the bench. These were designed by David Reisinger, one of the Smart Woodshop family, and they're now manufactured by TSO, and I'll put a link to them in the description below. But if you buy any of the plans, there'll be a link in the plans for these. These are one of a kind, nothing else on the market like them. They drop into any of these holes, and with an Allen wrench, they tighten this lug on the bottom, and it sucks everything down. And it's so easy to just take I use a little Y Allen wrench, and I'd spin these off and I pop them out. So I have two for each router table, and I have two on each side for the extensions, and then the other fixtures that I have use the same thing. So these are incredibly handy and have really allowed me to do more with the Paulk Smart benches than I was able to do before. The Cradle, that's what you see here holding up this rigid sander. There's also a cradle holding the saw stop on. There's a plan for these cradles. They're an option. That there's one cradle that's designed for it, and it is designed specifically for the battery operated DeWalt table saw. There's a lot of videos about that, so you can see how that works. But in other videos, I've taken that same plan and scaled it to work with different benchtop tools. So I made it work for the saw stop, I made it work for this rigid sander, and I also made one to work for my Craig Foreman. And any other benchtop type tools that I get, I know that I can modify this cradle to work. The beauty of the cradle is that it drops into these bench dog holes. It will go on either end or the sides and allow me to set up my machinery in whatever fashion I need to for the job. But the beauty of all of the accessories that you see here, the router table, the cradles, I'm not showing you the crosscut. That is for when I'm breaking down plywood. Better than any portable or even shop table saw for breaking down plywood. It is the best scenario I've ever come up with, short of buying a $15,000 sliding table saw. These accessories will all fit exactly the same on all three benches. The way I work most of the time is I have the Smart Station as my tool bench. I will 99% of the time, I have two benches set up. I have this bench. This is the first bench to get set up and the last one to get tore down, because I can pretty much do everything on this bench. I can do my miter work and my sanding and my table saw, my routing, and because the router tables add surface area, I can just simply remove the router fence the way this one is, and it increases my real estate so I can do some assembly over there. So if I only have room for one bench, this is the bench I've set up. Other than the dedicated miter section, it's really just a Paulk Smart Bench with that added feature. All of the other stuff, again, can be used on the Smart Bench or the Smart Big Bench. So in making your choice, you have to determine what kind of work you do and how you want to start. You don't have to have everything at once. Maybe you're going to grow into it. I'm sure I've missed something, but it really is a simple system, and it is a system where you can start small and build it out. 3 benches, just determine which one works best for you, or which 2 work best for you, or if you need all 3. And the accessories like the cradle and the router table and the smart crosscut, you can just determine which ones you need. I use them all. I designed them because I had a need for them in construction. And then when it came to the router tables, I decided that 2 worked for me better than 1 on a regular basis. Even if I'm not using 2 router tables, I put the second one on without the router in it, just to increase the real estate I have on this bench for the table saw ripping and things like that. If you like this video, if you enjoy what we do here on the channel, if you find it helpful and you'd like to support it so that we can continue making these videos, there's a number of ways you can support us. We have an Amazon affiliate link where if you go to our Paulk store on our website and you purchase any of the tools that you see there, they will share a little bit with us, not charge you any extra. Of course, purchasing any of the plans is the main support for this channel. And finally, you can also just click on the thumbs up down below and make a comment. You really help drive the algorithm of our channel on YouTube up, so our videos are served more readily and other new people will be able to come in and join the Smart Woodshop. And speaking of such, if you want to join the Smart Woodshop, just subscribe and ring the bell so you'll know when we put up a new video. Thanks for dropping into the Smart Woodshop. You stay safe and get out there and make some sawdust.